And salutations, I'm Gil.
And I'm Gil, and this is Strategic Prepper.
All right, greetings Strategic Prepper community. We're back again for another video, and I hope you enjoy this. And if you stay to the end, we're going to hit on a pretty significant, I hate to use a prediction, but it's
An outlook.
An outlook, yes. But,
Yeah.
I think you can kind of count on this. But anyway, so what we're talking about today is we just want to recap some of the things over the years, even before Strategic Prepper, that we had predicted. And we hear so much about this is a crisis, that's a crisis. Oh my gosh,
all the time.
And in fact, I've heard so many people quit preparedness because they say, you know, you guys always say this and none of this stuff has happened.
People get burnt out.
They get burnt out from all this super high level energy and excitement that's required to be scared all the time. Although we're not scared, we prepare, and we're not scared because we are prepared.
But that was one of the big things that drove us to start doing this, because it was people were spending way too many resources on no approach, and then also it was
everything was a shotgun approach. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a headline. Boom. There's a headline.
Yeah.
Boom.
Everything was an emergency, and the world's going to come to an end. And
you know, the ironic thing is so many of people in our community. And I hate to knock other people, but we're, in this video we're calling a spade here.
Yeah.
All right. So there's so many in our community that they talk about not trusting mainstream media, right? But every dang headline that comes out from mainstream media, they chase after.
They jump over.
All over it. And they don't do their own analysis, and it's really quite sad. And some of the biggest names in our community do this on a regular basis. It's really sad. And most recently, while everyone's saying Russia, we're saying no, Canada.
Yeah.
Different north, right? Different hemisphere. And we were saying this, as so many views. Type in Russia and you'll see how many preparedness videos are about Russia. And my gosh, it could end up to be the World War.
I've had personal discussions with people freaked out about Russia and World War III.
We've just been saying not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And it's not that we have some special insight. We don't have special insight. But you know what it is? We do the extra work to dig, and we don't just automatically believe the mainstream media. We look for other resources. Like, you remember COVID?
Yeah.
Right? We're not listening to the government. We're listening, but we're not following.
Yeah.
Right? And we sought out other sources. And, you can tell when somebody is BSing and all this, and when somebody's done an analysis, right? And so we found some good sources, particularly a doctor in England.
Yep.
And so we understood that this was going to be, and we know how diseases have progressed before.
Yeah.
And so we understood that this was going to be an issue back when most people are like, no.
No, it won't reach here.
Yeah.
Back in January, I was telling people, it's coming. All the leading experts were saying that we had already passed that point of containment. It is going to reach the U.S.
The thing is, within my own company, I put together a paper, some instruction on the different respirators, what's good, what's not good, what you need, what doesn't do you any good, and with pictures and all this other stuff. And it took 2 years to who was it that just finally came out besides the CDC? It was one of the hospitals, Mayo Clinic. No, this mask is bad. You need to use this. 2 freaking years.
So I had a similar experience.
But we're mask experts.
Yeah, I was warning. I had a similar experience. I was early. I was right. I had all the medical data to back it up. I wrote papers, and no one, not even my own colleagues in my own industry, who should also be as knowledgeable as I am, because this is right. This is what we do. They just.
It's amazing. For me, I can go back to like Y2K.
Yeah.
People were getting all excited and Y2K, the world's going to end. Let's run to the hills. And no, guys, come on. Somebody's going to come up with some program. This is how computers work.
Yeah.
There's so many people, and again, we got that right too. And it's understanding people and understanding processes, and not just a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
There's so many people that got a big voice, and that I just mean volume. I'm talking about
reach.
The reach out
a lot
there.
of people,
and you see it in mainstream media. This is the thing. They got a big reach, so they don't feel they have to think.
Yeah.
This is one of my problems with mainstream media. And I mean, gosh, it's like the COVID thing. At some point, it's like, yeah, it's an issue, and at some point, it's like, it's not really an issue anymore,
Yeah.
right? And it's not that we changed; it's the data changed,
data
and
changed.
the progression changed, and the phase changed.
And you know what? The real doctors that I was listening to early on, the actual experts before it all got all politicized, they said this from the beginning. Nothing changed. They said this is our outlook, this is our forecast, but we don't know, which is normal. That's
Right,
what you would
yep.
expect.
Yep.
None of that changed. It just got politicized, and then it got mainstream media, and everyone ran with it. And
So I want to point out a couple of areas, and we've got our screen over here. So the big thing is the difference between, because they're both we compare because they're both at the same time, Russia and Canada, right? And we just did a video. We've got this video on Russia, and on Canada. So, but over here, Canada's use of terrorist laws against peaceful protests draws international condemnation. So, for a couple of weeks, everyone's focused on Russia. I'm like, give me a break, guys. Yeah. I mean, first of all, even if they do invade, who cares? I don't care. I know the Ukrainians care. If I have any Ukrainian subscribers, if we have Ukrainian subscribers, then we apologize to you. But in the big international global preparedness-minded thing, we don't. It's not an issue to us. That's what we're saying. We don't care. It's not an issue to us in self-reliance and preparedness. And fuel prices would go up some, and
things would things would happen, but it's not the crisis that everyone
it's not the
crisis.
it's not the crisis that Canada is becoming.
Yeah,
has become, if you're in Canada, and becoming. And next thing over there, El Salvador president on Ukraine. What's he say? You read the next part.
The real war is in Canada.
Yeah, these
surprise.
people are starting to recognize what we've said at the beginning. The real war is in Canada. Canada's where it's at, and Tiananmen Trudeau is up there, and Chairman Trudy. They flipped. They're not going back without some significant change, and it's really sad to see. But the same thing could happen here. So what is happening? And we talk about the U.S. for two reasons. One, we're in the U.S. right? Two, most of our subscribers are in the U.S. Right? So there are similarities outside, but we really have to talk about what we know about, and that's the U.S. Some of the things that we have talked about is the elites working to destabilize our country because they do want a power grab. They not only do they want to eliminate the middle class, and that's what the economic side is about, and so we're going to talk about that. But they do want to destabilize the society. If people are focused on their basic necessities, just basic security, basic needs, and all that, they're not going to pay so much. They're not going to care what's happening in Washington or Ottawa.
Not only that, it's a common tactic that if the government can destabilize things, or if they can cause the problem, and then they can also present the solutions.
Which always means more government.
Yeah, people will not only not care if the government controls everything, they will ask the government to take over control of the life.
Please take away our liberties. Just keep us safe.
And it's not a new concept. It's not a new idea.
Oh, no, this was discussed during the Revolution.
Yeah, this is
ancient. Was that Franklin? Give us a comment. Tell me who this was. I think it was Franklin that said this, but I could be wrong. It's one of the founding fathers, and I'm paraphrasing somewhat loosely. He says, "If you give up liberty to attain security, you'll end up with neither."
Yeah, I think he says like you deserve neither, and you'll lose them both.
You'll lose them both, and I think that was Franklin. So it's always been an issue. So next item, the crime wave that's been going on for a couple of years, especially in America, in certain parts of the country, ruled by certain people. And
hold on. Well, before we get into it, remember those 80s or 90s action movies with the dystopian future in the U.S. and just crime is everywhere, and these crazy gangs and hijacking trains and trucks, and
welcome to the modern day.
Well, trains are getting hijacked, or at least one has gotten hijacked and derailed and stuff stolen, like it's Demolition Man or something. I don't know.
Don't lose it.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this next headline: massive crime spike stems from social unrest, COVID lockdowns, destabilizing communities, is what expert says. And so this is talking about national decline in violent crime, from the 90s through 2019 is now the pendulum has swung, and the destabilization is going full force. And
and John Hopkins recently released this, their study. I think was more focused on the ineffectiveness from a pandemic response, but they also cite that, hey, this is causing societal issues.
We mentioned this in a different video. And then the other one, and this is related, the war on cops. 24-hour period sees 13 police officers wounded by guns. And this was a particular Friday. So this was published on the 14th of February. So that was just last Friday.
Yeah, that would have been the 12th or something.
Yeah, right.
Something like that, yeah.
And so amazing. I mean, this is happening. And it's happening before our eyes, and it's a incremental. We talked about incremental SHTF, and that's how tyrants work. Is they usually don't come in and try to take everything at once, because there'd be too much resistance, and so we see that. And the thing is that we have so far have a very high success rate of identifying where the concern points are and which ones we don't need to focus on. And in fact, I would say more so than almost anybody. I cannot think of anybody in our community that's on YouTube that has even close to
I hate to say it, rate. But yeah, I don't.
And don't get me wrong, they've got good stuff on how to prepare. But when it comes to identifying which issue to focus on, I don't think anyone's even close as far as accuracy, as far as what the issue. And that's not being braggadocious. That is just it's just
trying to look at everyone's track record. Yeah.
You know, we want you guys to be informed and understand that just because someone's got a loud voice and a big audience does not mean they're going to be correct. Because how many times have we said, you got to have a balanced approach, not just in preparedness, but in life. You got to have a balanced approach.
Yeah.
And if you're chasing after every fire, you're going to be so unbalanced.
Yeah,
it's just you have to be unbalanced if everything's a crisis. And if everything's a crisis, then nothing's a crisis.
Yeah, you got to be systematic about it.
But you know what I hear? I hear within our community people saying, the next election, this is going to happen. Oh, we're going to take the House. And they've been saying this since before you're alive.
People don't understand how this game is being played.
No,
they're playing. They're not even playing checkers. They're playing tic-tac-toe, and the enemy's playing chess.
3D chess.
Yeah, exactly. We're playing tic-tac-toe in the sand with rocks and sticks, and then our adversaries are playing 3D chess, like you see in Star Trek.
Spock. Yeah.
You know, it's so frustrating that they're playing by the old set of rules, and do you not understand how this game's being played?
The other side doesn't even use rules.
They're not. You just it's But yeah,
my queen goes and gets your rook. Well, it can't make that move. It does now. Boom. Okay. So the article I have up here, and so before I get this, I want to preface this. People on the conservative side seem to think that. I tried to avoid politics for the most part, and we've talked about this when we first started a year ago. We really don't want to get into politics, but you can't avoid it because
it's a part of what's going on.
It's part of what is causing SHTF. I mean, if you only focus on natural disasters, then you're going to miss a lot.
Yeah,
and a lot of the disasters are man-made, and so you got to pay attention to politics. But people on the pretty much on the conservative side seem to think everything is coming from the Democrats, right?
Yeah, no.
And I've said this the whole time you're growing up it's not Democrat and Republican, it's globalists versus nationalists.
Yeah.
You know, who wants to protect America and who wants to unify the globe. And so we've got over here Karl Rove under fire for redistricting failures. He's costing Republicans all over the country. So Karl Rove has had a very big part in guiding the different states in their redistricting efforts, and he is it sounds like he is being a total failure. We see that
surprise.
Democrats could possibly end up picking up seats, and it's just
Republicans going to lose seats.
It's going to be where this is a year where Republicans should end up with half a dozen new seats just from redistricting, because that's how the system works. People vote in their state legislatures, and those elected people get to decide. And if the people put in conservatives, they want the conservatives to get to draw them out.
Yep.
Right? That's the system. It's not cheating. It is the system. And so this guy, Karl Rove, he's got a key part, and somehow he's screwing this up so bad that Republicans could possibly not win the House when it should be a shoo-in. So let me ask you a question. Is he incompetent?
No.
Is it an accident?
No. This stuff happens too consistently. It's not an accident.
No.
It's none of this is an accident.
No.
It's like the pullout of Afghanistan. It wasn't incompetence. They did it on purpose.
Yeah, it's just
That incompetence was too competent to be incompetence.
yeah, it was designed to be a failure for America.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's the same thing with it. It's the story of my life. Right? My entire life, it's the same.
mine's longer than yours.
Yeah, I
same
know.
thing, right?
But it kills me because I see that I've been my whole life. I see the same pattern over and over. But you still got people who are your age who ought to know better, and they're still playing by this rules of this fictitious system that they've created in their head.
If we just take the House, and
it has never happened in my entire life. And
yeah. So
anyway,
don't count on politicians to deliver the Garden of Eden, because
our situation is far worse than that.
Yes, I mean, on both sides of the aisle, they are working against our interests.
Yeah,
and it's not an accident, and it's I don't want to say conspiracy, but they are like
it's an agenda because they're actually out in the open about it.
Yeah, really, they
it's
don't
an agenda.
Yeah, and they're like-minded, and their like-minded is globalism. It's not Democrat versus Republican; it's globalism, and people who are nationalist-minded, where I want America to be great for Americans. Canadians should want Canada to be great for Canadians, right?
Yep.
India should want India. Indians should want India to be great for Indians, and so there's nothing wrong with that, because I'll tell you what, the rest of the world's not going to be looking at what's good for America.
No,
we need people to look out for our tribe, and so it's just another sign that, yes, vote. I'm a big fan. Go vote. You got to vote. You're like, I don't know, but go vote. You got to get the vote to count. But that doesn't mean you got to get your hopes in these people.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Just these guys. I'm not very optimistic. The last item I want to bring up, and the reason I want to bring this up is because if there is an SHTF situation or scenario that we have been talking about from day one.
Yeah.
And you see it in the very early videos. Our first risks video focuses on this. And in fact, if you take a look at that video, we specifically called out this situation with the ongoing inflation. And when all the experts, the government experts and the Fed and all that, said, no, this is transitory, and we're like, no, the signs aren't there. So we actually, I think recently said in a video, but we're saying it again, is the Fed now has come out and said they're talking about raising interest rates. Remember I said that they said, not till 23 at the soonest.
I remember we did a video on that.
Yeah, no, they're gonna have to do it
they're
sooner.
going to have to.
I
In
called
fact, I
this.
think it was like on our threats outlook or whatever. It was 2021.
It was.
Beginning of the year. And
Right, so they have to, and now they're saying, they're going to.
back when we're still in the suburbs, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the thing is that the signs are all there. These people that in government, they somehow think because they're in government they're smarter, but I don't know. I'm not buying that. But so anyway, the Fed is setting out to kill inflation. Brace for collateral damage. So here's what we've been saying, and I remember I was having this conversation with some friends very recently. When you raise interest rates to combat inflation, you do this because the economy's on fire and you're trying to cool the economy. And that tool works.
Yeah.
Right? But if you raise interest rates to combat inflation and the driver of inflation is not an on-fire economy, you're going to cool the economy, but the economy's sick.
Yeah.
The economy is sick and now you're going to cool it?
Yeah.
That is so backwards.
Yep.
You need the fire of the economy.
Yeah.
And we saw that in the late 70s and 80s. When Reagan got in, and the late 70s was rough. And yes, inflation ran till 82, but Reagan was able to work with the Congress and get some things done. And he did not raise interest rates because that was a period of called stagflation, which is what we have going on here also stagflation. We haven't seen this since Jimmy Carter and the early days of Ronald Reagan, and they're going to do the same exact mistake that they did before. They're going to raise interest rates. The solution that Reagan did, the solution that Trump did, is you cut regulation. It's going to take government action, but the government action in those cases was to cut regulation, cut taxes of business, unleash the business, and the businesses will grow.
Yep.
I mean, it's government that holds back growth in America, and you unleash that, and you'll get that growth. And under Reagan, we had very low inflation for most of the time, and good growth, and it was just a phenomenal time. This is the wrong tool for the sickness. You're taking the wrong medicine, and it is going to create more of an economic downturn. It will. It's just basic economics, and that's why these people, because they're in government, they think they're smarter, and they don't even listen to their own history that they created the last time. And this is Politico. yes. I do read Politico every so often. Sometimes they got good stuff. As far as left-wing stuff, they're probably more introspective than a number of the sites. They certainly have better articles, particularly when we're talking about the economy. And so this is a Politico article. The Fed is setting out to kill inflation, brace for collateral damages, the headline, and it's so right. And it's basically saying what we have been saying. And I really was hoping that the Fed was not going to be so ignorant this time, but they've announced, and there's probably going to be several big jumps.
Yeah.
And the more it fails, the more they're going to do that. They're going to raise the interest rates. So anyway, we have a good track record. Trust us on this. Prepare for the high inflation. Prices are going to get expensive. Get out of debt.
Yep.
What was that? Get out of debt.
debt.
Reduce your debt as much as possible. If you're trying to save money to buy something, or you got a choice of buy it now. If you got the cash, buy it now. It's just going to get more expensive, and the value of your savings is going to diminish. That's what inflation does. It's a hidden tax on people with savings. And here's the thing: these people actually try to act. The media acts like this is all unknown, and there's actually people in government. They are doing this on purpose.
Yep.
And they tell you why, and because we read, we know why. We know that they're doing it on purpose. It's not some great hidden conspiracy. They tell us, and you say, all right, go ahead and ask a question. Why?
Yeah, why?
Well, because we owe trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, and one way to pay this down is to devalue the economy by having inflation. The value of the debt that is owed becomes less, and instead of actually paying it off, so imagine you had a mortgage, right? And interest rates are going up, and you've got a fixed rate, and you say, well, that's not so bad. Now everything's at inflation has gone up, and now my 100,000 spending cash is worth only 80,000, so it's kind of like I paid off 20,000 for free because the value of that debt has diminished, and it's one of the ways to get control of the debt. So they're going to sink the economy to do this. If there's going to be collateral damage, Politico has got it right, and it's pretty sad. So take care of your business on preparedness, and there's a number of things going on. Canada is a big issue. The social destabilization on multiple fronts is real. It's going on. The economic destabilization. These are the big three that I would look at. Is the political with it's going to come to other countries. New Zealand tried cracking down on their truck drivers. They backed off a little bit because people freaked out. I mean, they're dragging some woman naked by her hair is what I read. I mean, peaceful protests. What is wrong with you people? I mean, come on. And but a lot of the world is looking at Canada. It's like, what is wrong with you? Like, was the is that on this? Yeah, El Salvador president. The real wars in Canada. Yes, we said this in a different video. It has started. If you're in Canada, and if you don't personally feel it, then just hold tight. You will at some point in the near future. All right, you got anything to add? We've covered a lot of territory, so we don't want to be a downer on you. The thing is, there are things that we can do to improve our position. You improve your position, And so we've covered those. And reach out to us on our website, strategic-prepper.com. Reach out on our Patreon site, and we can help out with you. We can help you out get better prepared, and hopefully we'll hear from you. And we thank you, and thanks for the many subscribers that we've got. And stay safe and stay prepared.